Assalamu alaikum. I am Muaz Asad and you are watching Al Majeed TV. Welcome to the 13th episode of the series The Life of Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In this episode, we will learn about the first marriage of Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the last episode, we learned that Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam had been used to working for his living since his early youth. By the time he was 25 years old, he was already well known as an honest and hardworking person. Impressed by these qualities, Khadija bint Khuwailid, a wealthy widow of Makkah, hired him to lead her caravan to Syria and sell her goods in the Syrian markets. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam returned to Makkah, Khadija radiallahu anha was very pleased with the way he had conducted his business in Syria and could not believe that he had made so much money for her. She was extremely impressed by his truthful ways and his honest dealings. Khadija radiallahu anha was also deeply moved and impressed by the things that Maysara had told her about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She liked the righteousness and honorable character of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Khadija radiallahu anha began to pay close attention to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and realized that all the people in Makkah liked him a lot and he had many friends. He was hardworking, honest and trustworthy. One day, one of her best friends, Nafisa, came to meet her. They sat together and talked. During their conversation, Khadija radiallahu anha told Nafisa about the Syrian caravan and the goods it had brought. Khadija radiallahu anha said, "I have never made so much money in any of my trade caravans. I think I was very lucky to have hired Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He managed to sell my goods in Syria for a very good price, and whatever he bought with that money and brought to Makkah fetched me a handsome profit as well." Nafisa said, "Yes, you were very lucky to hire him." And then Nafisa said to Khadija radiallahu anha, "He is a young man of marriageable age and you are a widow. You are well suited to each other. Why don't you marry him? If you allow me, I can go and ask Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam." Khadija radiallahu anha thought for a while, as she had already rejected several proposals of marriage from men belonging to some of the noblest families of Quraysh. She was deep in thoughts. How would the tribe react? What would her family say? Whether this young man who is still not married will accept the proposal? Finally, she agreed with Nafisa and told her, "Please, Nafisa, help me with this and go talk to him." Nafisa went to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him, "Why don't you get married?" Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "I don't have money to get married. I cannot support a family yet." Nafisa said, "What if you are let off taking on such a responsibility by marrying a wealthy woman of noble birth?" Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was wondering what she could mean and asked her, "How could that be possible?" Nafisa replied that Khadija radiallahu anha would like to marry you. This was a pleasant surprise for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had great regard for Khadija radiallahu anha. Nafisa had hoped that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would straight away agree to the proposal. However, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her that he needed to discuss the matter with his uncle and other family members. Nafisa went to see Khadija radiallahu anha and told her what had happened during her meeting with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Meanwhile, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Abu Talib and his family about the proposal from Khadija radiallahu anha. Abu Talib was very pleased when he heard of the marriage proposal. With great joy, he immediately agreed to it. He knew that Khadija radiallahu anha was a respectable lady among Quraysh. She was wise, wealthy and of a noble descendant. Soon after, Abu Talib went to see the uncle of Khadija radiallahu anha to ask for Khadija's hand in marriage. Upon the agreement of both parties, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu anha were finally married. The marriage became a good occasion for the family and friends to get together. In the presence of the family, Abu Talib read the nikah himself. As the father of Khadija radiallahu anha was dead, her uncle Amr bin Asad was there instead, and her cousin Warqa bin Nawfal was also present. The foster mother of Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Halima Sa'diya radiallahu anha, was also present in marriage. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave 20 camels as meher to Khadija radiallahu anha. For a few days after nikah, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu anha lived at the house of Abu Talib. Then Khadija radiallahu anha bought a new house and they moved there. The new house into which the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu anha moved was very nice. Though not very big, but it had enough space for everybody. It even had a little walled courtyard behind the house where they could sit after sunset. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu anha did not live alone in their new house. There were more people living with them. First of all, Ayman, the old maid of Amina, who took care of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam after the death of Amina radiallahu anha. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very fond of her because she reminded him of his childhood and his mother. Then there was Zayd bin Harisa, a slave whom Khadija radiallahu anha gave to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to help him with his work. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was very kind and disliked any sort of oppression, immediately freed Zayd bin Harisa and treated him like his own son. Zayd bin Harisa also loved the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam so much that when his own family came to take him back home, he refused to go with them because he did not want to be separated from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He stayed on with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for many years. Zubair bin Awwam, when his father died, also came to stay with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu anha and became one of the first people to accept Islam. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Khadija radiallahu anha had 6 children, 2 boys and 4 girls. Unfortunately, both the boys Qasim and Abdullah died when they were still little babies. The 4 daughters, Zainab, Ruqayya, Kulsum and Fatima radiallahu anhuma, grew up into beautiful young girls and were married when the time came. Zainab was married to the nephew of Khadija radiallahu anha, Abu al-As bin Rabia. He was kind and an upright man and they were very happy together. Ruqayya and Kulsum were married to 2 sons of Abu Lahab, Utbah and Utayba. But when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam began his mission of spreading the message of Islam, Abu Lahab became the enemy of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even though Abu Lahab was the uncle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he opposed the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the message of Islam. In these circumstances, the Quraysh and Abu Lahab forced Utbah and Utayba to divorce the daughter of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and send them back to their father. Later on, Ruqayya radiallahu anha was married to Usman bin Affan radiallahu anhu. The youngest daughter Fatima radiallahu anha was married to Ali bin Abu Talib radiallahu anhu. They had 2 sons, Hassan and Hussein radiallahu anhum. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam loved his grandsons very much and playing with them gave the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a lot of joy. Please stay with us. We will continue in the next episode learning about the rebuilding of the Kaaba. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment on our channel. Jazakumullahu khairan.